Hello and welcome back to MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic. In today's video, we are going to add the next 10 creature cards with mana values of 8 or more into our Momir Vig Cube. Thank you for choosing MTG Burgeoning for your Magic the Gathering content. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and consider becoming a subscriber. Doing so supports the channel and makes you eligible for our various subscriber rewards series. If you would like to support the channel further, then click the link to our Patreon page in the description below. There you can join our ongoing Pack Wars series as a 1-month supporter or ongoing member. Or try joining Pack Wars for free by commenting on every MTG Burgeoning video in a month. We strive to offer creative rewards through our various Patreon tiers. So if Pack Wars isn't for you, then something else will be. Links to our content and various subscriber rewards series can be found in the description below. Send us an email, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We are your channel for all things magic. Greetings and salutations to the MTG BC. You are the MTG Burgeoning community. Welcome back to another installment of our ongoing Momir Vig Cube series. If you are unfamiliar with the goals or purposes of this series, or just need a refresher, you can search in the description below for a link to MTG Burgeoning's introduction to the Momir Vig Cube. And while you're down traipsing around in the description below, you can also click the link to Cube Cobra, where you can view the entire contents of the cube as it stands right now. So for today, we've got 10 creature cards with mana values of 8 or more, and there are going to be some spicy additions here. You can guarantee that. Let's begin with a mono black Pestilence Demon. It's a 7/6 flyer. We can pay a black mana to deal 1 damage to each creature and each player. That is Pestilence, an old school enchantment that carries a great amount of power, but you can only activate that ability if you have black mana to do so, so make sure you have those swamps added to your basic land library. Creature number 2 in our first monocolor and first creature with a mana value higher of 8, which is a good time to remind the MTG BC, in this Momir Vig Cube variant that we have here, once you reach the 8 mana level, you can only generate up to 8 mana into your Momir Vig Cube. You can't go higher than 8, but you have a 1 in 3 shot of summoning a copy of a creature card with a CMC higher than 8, to your side of the battlefield. Number 2, Phyrexian Triniform. It's a 9/9, but when it dies, we create 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature tokens. We won't bother with the Encore ability because once a creature leaves the battlefield, it ceases to exist, because remember, all creatures summoned from the cube are token copies of those creatures. Next up, creature number 3 with a CMC of 8, we have Piru the Volatile, a 7/7 flyer with lifelink. It is an Elder Dragon. At the beginning of your upkeep, you will sacrifice Piru unless you pay Mardu colors, which is 1 red, 1 white, and 1 black mana. And when Piru dies, it will deal 7 damage to each non-legendary creature. Keep in mind that Piru has lifelink, so every 7 damage it doles out to those non-legendary creatures, you're going to gain 7 life each and every time. In a format like Momir Vig, where each player begins the game with 24 life, Piru has a way in which to bring our life totals up to a potentially insurmountable amount. And as a last thing, if you don't have the red, white, and black mana to pay at the beginning of your upkeep, you're going to be sacrificing Piru, so make sure you have those mountains, plains, and swamps in your basic land library. Make sure that you can make the decision, not your lack of deck preparation. Creature number 4, back to a CMC, and staying with a CMC of 8 here, but back to colorless, we have the Platinum Empyrean. It's an 8/8 that says your life total can't change. No instants, no sorceries, no planeswalkers, no enchantments. This is all creatures all the time. So if we can't find a way to get rid of a Platinum Imperium from the battlefield, it could make for a very long game. Reaching the halfway point of this video, creature number 5 is Polar Kraken, going back to the time of Ice Age. It's an 11/11 trampler with a cumulative upkeep of sacrificing a land. So it comes into play tapped as well, so you can't even use it as a blocker when it ETBs. That cumulative upkeep of sacrificing a land means at the beginning of your next turn, you put a counter on it and you sacrifice a land. The turn after that, you put a second counter on it, you sacrifice 2 lands. A third counter, you sacrifice 3 lands. But this has a mana value of 11, so you hit one of 3 chances of getting a creature from the 8 slot in the Momir Vig Cube, and this is quite a doozy. At an 11/11 trampler, you may be able to withstand sacrificing those lands as a way in which to hedge, making sure that you can destroy your opponents and send their life totals plummeting to 0. But if you can't, you can choose to not pay the cumulative upkeep at any time and let the Polar Kraken hit the yard. All right, next creature number 6, we're back to a CMC of 8. This time it's the Polyraptor. It's 5/5 dinosaur. It has the Enrage mechanic. Whenever it's dealt damage, we will create a token that's a copy of Polyraptor. If the stars were to align perfectly for the fortunate player that summons a copy of Polyraptor to their side of the battlefield, you can send that bad boy into combat continuously without any fear of never having a copy of it. All right, creature number 6, we're staying with mono green. This time it's Primeval Protector. Look at that, mana cost of 10 and a green, but in Momir Vig, it's only going to cost you 8. It's a 10/10, and when it ETBs, you're going to put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. The +1/+1 counter theme is one of the themes woven into this cube, and if you're fortunate enough to have a couple other pieces of that on your side of the battlefield, getting Primeval Protector is just going to be the icing on top of that cake. All right, we have another creature here that's going to have a mana value north of 8, and if it ETBs, it may be game over, and that's going to be Progenitus. It's 10/10. It has protection from everything. That's it. It can't be blocked. It can't be targeted. Nothing can happen to it. It has protection from everything. Creature number 9, staying with multicolor, we're going to go with the Reaper King. It's a 6/6 scarecrow that has an overall mana value of 10. It gives other scarecrows we control +1/+1, and whenever another scarecrow ETBs under our control, we may destroy target permanent. And yes, we do have a number of other scarecrows haunting around in the Momir Vig Cube. All right, MTG BC, we began with a mono-black creature with a mana value of 8. We're going to end with a mono-black creature with a mana value of 8. It is the Sanguine Praetor. It's a 7/5 avatar. We can pay a black mana to sacrifice a creature to destroy each creature with the same converted mana cost as the sacrificed creature. What a great way to sacrifice a token to wipe out every token on the battlefield. In a format like Momir Vig, where there are no instant or sorcery spells and removal is very, very sparse, having an ability like Sanguine Praetors could make it one of the most valuable creatures, not just in the 8-drop, but in the entire cube itself. And there you have it, MTG BC. 10 more creature cards with mana values of 8 or more going into the cube. Which are your favorites? Let me know the answer to that question in the comments section below. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic.